Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592, the physical delivery of legal, lawful, constitutional, biblical tender, talking about gold and silver. It is what we do. We do it better than anybody. The website at allamericangold.com, and it is the 7th day of December, which is the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Something that really, let's face it, allowed probably the single biggest event that allowed for our central bank and the dollar to become the global currency, because after World War II, Bretton Woods came into effect, which forced all nations to buy everything in dollars. That is no longer the case. And as we've seen, as Bretton Woods has lost steam, you think about gold at a low of like $250. Now we're going to be talking about all-time record high prices in gold again here very soon. Matter of fact, Basil III. Yeah, I mean, I know. So many things to keep track of. Basil III will go into effect at the beginning of the year. That is going to put at least an end. I don't want to say it's not going to be all, but some, and really probably a big portion of the nonsense that happens in the gold and silver markets, where you have, and I don't know what the percentages are, but 9,500% more gold contracts than actual gold and all this other stuff. So it's going to be something where, one of these, another log in the fire of why I think we're going to see much higher gold prices in 2022. We're going to talk about that and a bunch of other stuff. But before we do that, I'm joined with my partner, Jason Walker. He runs our Colorado office. Jason, good morning. And I don't know, do you say Happy Pearl Harbor Day? Probably not.
It's a day of remembrance, I guess. I don't know how you address it as far as bringing it up in a conversation, but everyone knows what that is. And it's interesting, Joe. I was looking at one of these internet gold and silver companies, the ones that pop up ads, and I was looking. I was like, oh, what is this? And it's like a 1 ounce silver-ish coin.
Silver-ish. Yeah.
It's got the Morgan design on it. It's a silver round. Buy our 99.9% silver plated coin, $40. $40, and people are going to buy that.
$40,
and then they're going to come to
silver plated coin.
They'll come to us to sell it in the future. They'll be like, "Well, I'm sorry, man. That's just this is why you call Patriot Trading Group. Don't buy the silver plated coin. There's almost no silver on it."
Yeah, I mean, my guess, and I'm just guessing, I don't know, but I would be shocked if there was even a couple dollars of silver in the plate.
No, there's almost nothing. You can take 1 ounce of gold and stretch it over an entire football field. So that's when you every time you see those little bottles with the little gold flakes in it, there's almost no gold in it. It's just the water makes the flakes look big. So yeah, there's almost no. I would say there's not even pennies of silver on this coin.
There you go. Be careful. Always buy from us. You know what you're going to get. But it is a really interesting day. We've got a rally in really all of the markets. The Dow with a follow-through rally here, up another 500 or 600 points, kind of making up for the I guess the Omicron virus scare. And I will tell you, this is a sucker's rally for sure. But the bigger thing to pay attention to, crude oil coming back to life. So crude and gold kind of fell together. Remember a few weeks ago when they confirmed that Jay Powell was going to be renominated, and they hit gold, they hit crude oil. I mean, crude oil went from almost $85 to like $66. And now the last few days, crude has put in a big rally. It was up $3 yesterday, up another $3 today, back to $73. Nothing has changed on the crude oil front. Matter of fact, don't be shocked here. This is going to be a big rally in crude, especially when we've been real fortunate. We've had a mild fall in winter so far in most of the U.S. When we start getting that really cold air in, I expect to see crude oil back above $80 again and higher than that very soon. Gold's up 5, silver's up 20 cents right now as the market is kind of, I guess, taking a feeling of relief that it doesn't appear that the Omicron virus is going to be as bad. Early on, how they, again, we're ruled by these health guys that aren't elected, that come out and scare everybody into believing the world's coming to an end and the sky is falling. Jason, apparently the sky's falling a little less this week.
It's all smoke and mirrors, Joe. I'm telling you. So in May of this year, the Dow was at 34,800, about that level. Today it's about 35,800, so it's up 3% since May, 7 months. And I'll tell you right now, Joe, I don't think anything else I'm buying is up only 3%. The markets are actually crashing as they're going up.
And again, it's only up 3% because of a handful of stocks. We talked about that yesterday. The breadth of the market, as they like to call it, has not been very good. It hasn't been very good for a while. But when we get back, the 10 stages of genocide. Is this when, everyone, we keep wondering, when is when going to be when? Well, maybe when we get through the 10 steps of genocide. We'll talk about that coming up next. Welcome back, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint, Jason Walker, Tom Lewis, blog of Gold, Goats, and Guns. And he wrote a great article talking about Basil III, which starts in January, something that, Jason and I talked about it when it got passed. So it passed like 6 months ago, and then it takes time to implement. It's supposed to happen now on the 1st of January, which is going to help alleviate some of the monkey business that's been going on in the gold markets for so long. And maybe, Jason, a really good indication of why all of a sudden we're seeing more and more central banks getting into gold because they know, hey, a lot of this monkey business, if you will, is going to come to an end. So we want to get into gold because it's going to be a big benefit from that.
I agree with that. And also, I talked about yesterday, if the plan is to let inflation go, let's say for 2 more years, then you better put yourself in a position to benefit off of that, which, gold and silver would be a great place to go because it's going to explode. The price is going to explode in gold and silver. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I would, and I've been saying this for a while. Be very careful how much money you have in the bank. We don't know when. Listen, we've got. I think we're going to get through at least the first half of 2022 before the cracks start appearing. We may make it through a little more than that, but believe me, it's getting ready to go again. And getting gold and silver is a great way to do it. Obviously, if you've already, I've got a lot of gold and silver, what do I do with the rest of it? I've been telling everybody, get in touch with my son, and he can get yourself out of the banks and get you into a safe spot because it's coming. The problem is when you do that's not a quick deal, right? So if you want to get yourself into a safe spot, it's going to take a little bit. So reach out to me. And I can help you do that. But I wanted, he brought up these 10 stages of genocide. And a lot of it kind of pertains as we're talking about, when is it going to happen? It's not a matter of if. We know. We've created way too much money. We've got horrible inflation now. And how long until the gig is up? And a lot of these 10 stages of genocide really apply. The first stage, classification, right? People are divided into us and them, right? And of course, we've had that here for a long time, right? We've got the 1%ers and everybody else, right, Jason? I mean, that's been going on really in all of the, what I'll say, developed economies of the world. You've got your super elite class and everybody else.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, that's why they have the term third world country, right?
Right? Symbolization. People are forced to identify themselves. And look at, think about like the last 10 years in particular here. Right? Everybody's being forced to identify. We got all the new labels, all the new pronouns, right? We've got all of those things coming to light. And then the third phase, discrimination. People begin to face systematic discrimination. And we're seeing that whether real or unreal, right? Real or imagined, right? Discrimination, right? Whether it be like the Me Too movement stuff from, you did this in the 80s to Black Lives Matter to, to even all of a sudden, because of the coronavirus, right? Attacks on Asians and all this stuff, right? And then how about this part? So that's stage 3. When you think about defund the police, right? That probably falls into that phase 3 of 10 stages of genocide. How about 4? Dehumanization. People being equated to animals or vermin or disease. Think about what's going on with the vax and the unvax, Jason.
Oh, yeah. I can hear it. I can hear it already.
Right? So you're like, man, yeah, that's happening. Organization. The government starts creating special groups to enforce government policy.
Well, we've had that for a while.
Look at what they were, right? I'm like, wow, right? What they've tried to do it with OSHA. They do all this executive orders. The CDC says you can't evict people. Now they're talking about using the TSA, right,
yep,
as an enforcement arm. The state of New York now is requiring, I don't know if you guys saw, the state of New York now is requiring all businesses now to enforce the or the vaccine mandates, Jason.
Yeah, that's just the start of it too, isn't it? It's just the start.
How about polarization, stage 6? The government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group.
Some of these are decade-old programs they've been running.
Right?
Yeah. Some of this has been put into place a long time ago.
We're losing our patience, right? They had Jim Cramer. We should executive order everybody to get the vaccine. I mean, absolutely happening. Stage 7, preparation. Official action to remove and or relocate people begins. I can't tell you how many people have lost their job because of it. Right? Australia, they're taking people to the what were we calling them before? The FEMA camps?
FEMA camps.
We ought to call them.
Yeah. Huh? The FEMA camps. And
right?
It seems like the hospitals are the way that be the way they do it in a nice way. We're going to transport the patient to a better facility.
Yeah, see, some Arizona listeners may not know, like Colorado now, the hospitals have the power now to send people away. We're not going to treat you here. You need to go somewhere else and ship them anywhere. It could be in another city, another state, wherever it may be. Persecution. The beginning of murders. Theft of property. Trial massacres. Now, I don't know about the trial massacres yet, but look at what's happening today. I mean, let me ask you this. Do you think America's in a good place right now? Honestly. I mean, I know the stock market, it's It's not at it, but it's near all-time highs, which is garbage, as we all know that. That's garbage. Violent crime and crime in general is up everywhere. Philadelphia has broken the murder record all time. Most other cities have broken their all-time murder records. The murder capitals of the world, places like Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, are racing to, we haven't seen violence like this in over 30 years. And it's getting worse. Social
media is showing everybody that these crash and grabs, organized, crash and grabs across the country during the Christmas shopping season, how fragile enforcement is on laws.
Yeah, we've never seen this before. This is a whole different element of crime. And I'll go back to like Portland and Seattle when we didn't squash that unrest, and you go back to mayors and governors saying let them loot. AOC, did you see her ridiculous comments earlier this week? Oh, it's not really happening. It's just Walgreens and some others upset about the laws in California. No one's really doing anything. And this is different. And what I mean by that, and not to theft is wrong in any regard. But someone stealing food, as an example, because there's nothing to eat at their house. That's one type of crime, right? You're like, yeah, I get it, right? You don't have the money. What do you got to eat? Whatever. They steal baby formula or diapers or whatever it may be. And I think they called it like theft of need. This isn't theft of need. They're going in and targeting high-end handbags and going into, the Macy's and the Dillards and just grabbing everything and anything. This is a whole different kind of violence and theft that we've never really seen in the United States before. And again, it's the societal breakdown, right? We're talking about the 10 steps of genocide and really kind of evolving it into what we're looking at here. So that's really that's the 8th step. The 9th step is extermination. Wholesale elimination of the group. It is extermination and not murder because the people are not considered human. Now, that would be, you look at, Hitler and the killing of the Jews. You go to these African nations that have genocide because, well, you're from the wrong tribe. I don't know if we get that, but I definitely think between the vax and the unvax, Jason, could there be a violent showdown? Absolutely. I hope it doesn't happen. But then again, it also could be what? Could we see rioting and looting really take center stage as inflation keeps running higher and higher and higher? Are we going to see more of this violence spreading across America?
I think so, Joe. And I'll even add a little bit that the theft of those higher-end items, some of those thefts probably are theft of need because let's say your dad lost his job and you're the teenage oldest kid in the house. You're looking around that how are my little brothers and sisters going to get fed? You know that, hey, if I can go steal some high-end electronics and some high-end clothing and I can go sell that, give me some Federal Reserve notes, I can pay for some of these bills that are not going to get paid for, Joe. So even some of those thefts and those high-end stores are possibly theft of need because I don't know how people on the lower end of society get with the $15 an hour jobs. I don't know how they pay for everything, Joe.
I'm going to say this. I don't think it's theft of need yet. But to your point, I think that could be coming. Could that be our 9th step, which is all of a sudden we've got theft of need, which is anything that has any value at all. I got to get my hands on it so I can sell it right? Versus, hey, going into the grocery store. And how far away are we from that? I don't know that we've seen that yet.
Not here, no.
Are we going to see a mob?
I think we're going to see it soon.
20 or 30 or 40 people running into supermarkets, grabbing carts, and just wiping out like the meat department or the baby department. Is that coming?
I think you're going to see theft of need on the level you're talking about in other countries first, because their middle class isn't as wealthy as ours. So ours is being destroyed. In other countries, their middle class isn't as well off as ours. So like Australia, I think a lot of what's going on there is I think their middle class is decimated far further down the line than ours. And that's when you get people in the streets going crazy like they are in Australia and some other countries. So, yeah, it's coming, Bill.
And you're absolutely right about that. It'll hit the emerging markets first. And then, of course, last but not least, the government denies that it did anything wrong, right? And we see that playing out with our central bank as well. You know, we've got the central bank that the mainstream media and the government wants to portray as the heroes, and yet really they're the ones that are inflicting all the pain. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint, Jason Walker here. Gold's up 8, 1787. Silver is up, depending on where you look. I'm going to say it's up 30. Kitco's got it up 15. Either way, it's the same. 2253. Got a couple of items. Silver quarters. Yesterday we were running silver quarters at $2.25 a roll, which was $20 off. Gold's moving up again. We had about 200 rolls yesterday. We've got less than half of that still available, so I'm going to hold that price until we're out of them. So rolls of silver quarters today at $2.25, and this is going to be the last call for the year unless somebody sells me some 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. So these are a tenth of an ounce of gold. We call them the golden dimes. When you talk about barter, right, you got two great barter items here. The silver quarters, 40 in a roll on the silver quarters. The 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles, they're $2.55, but they're going to be on sale today. I'll get those online as quickly as I can here. They're going to be on sale today, Jason, for $240. Which is the lowest price we've had on 10th ounce. It matches the lowest price we've had on them pretty much for the whole entire year. But this is it. This is the last of them. The wholesalers are like, we don't have more. There's not more out there. Of course, we know the mint's getting ready to shut down now. So this is going to be it most likely on the 10th ounce for the rest of the year. And when you start talking about looting and rioting and theft of need, there may be certain items, Jason, where, hey, if you want it, it's going to be on the black market type of a thing, and some golden dimes sure would probably go a long way in helping you acquire certain things.
Yeah, I'd say that too, and on a more positive way, you can also buy them as Christmas gifts. You know, I think a 10th ounce gold piece is a good high-end Christmas gift to give somebody.
I got to apologize. You know, for the last several years, we've been running those Silver Eagle books, where you got a Silver Eagle from. I mean, they are awesome. Could not do it this year. Two different reasons, really. Number one, we couldn't get every date of Silver Eagle to be able to put them into the books, and then Jason, we couldn't even get the books.
Yeah, Dansco is having severe problems. They're barely a company still, so it's one of those small companies that just trying to make it, Joe, and they're still there, but they couldn't supply the books we needed in the way we needed it, and we didn't have the coins.
So we won't have those available this year. Fingers crossed if we can. And again, I don't know about next year either. Listen, the shortages that are happening, they're everywhere. And it doesn't matter if it's, potato skins or packaging containers, no lids for the cups or whatever it may be. It applies in the gold and silver markets as well. And now, this one's a major one. They're saying that a chicken tender shortage, Jason, may be on the way. They're saying that chicken tenders require more processing and more packaging than other cuts of chicken. And they're saying that the processors are like, well, you know what? It takes too long. It's too expensive. We're just going to not make them anymore. They said the price for breast tenders has gone up to $3.54 a pound. And they're saying that the Department of Agriculture said the price is going to jump to $3.98 a pound. So you think, wow, that's almost a 50-cent increase in the price of chicken tenders. And they're saying that the issue may be that because of high demand again, that chicken tenders may become unavailable.
Yeah, Joe, there it is. There's another one of those inflated items and lack of supply. I mean, I just said that in 7 months, the Dow went up 3%. It sounds like the chicken tenders went up a whole lot more than 3% in the last 7 months. This is why...
Well, you know what's so funny is they went down, and now all of a sudden, boom, they're skyrocketing in price. And, and again, this is just how things happen out in the world today. And again, it doesn't mean, hey, can you not get chicken? No. Just, oh, you wanted chicken tender? Yeah, sorry, don't have those, right? Or, oh, you wanted chicken wings? Yeah, don't have those, right? And all of a sudden, and I'm seeing it a lot at the supermarkets, where all of a sudden, something that used to have 2 or 3 facings, on the shelf, all of a sudden, they've got 10.
Right.
Because certain flavors have been eliminated, or other we're giving you the illusion that the shelves are full, but really all we're doing is we're hiding all the products you can't get.
And these are all symptoms of how bad the inflation is, Joe. Just a moment ago, you talked about those Silver Eagle books we put together the last 2 years. We couldn't do it this year. The main problem, I could have scrounged and found the books. The main problem was we just didn't have a nice flow during the calendar year of 2021 of Silver Eagles to fill all those years in. It's just, since I've been here, less Silver Eagles were flowing through here, getting some buyers and sellers to us, and good amounts of different years coming through. It just, the last couple of years it was easier. This year, it's very difficult. Same thing with chicken. It's not, this is all inflative symptoms, Joe.
Yeah, and really for us, it's part of our story, and and Jason really put it in a nice way. We just didn't see the volume of sellers in the silver market this year. Really, the only selling we really saw in silver this year was need.
Yep.
Right. I need it. Right.
Yep.
I've got whether it's, hey, I need it so my kid can buy this house because he doesn't have the down payment money, or I'm buying a piece of land and I need to have, I got to pay cash because it's the only way I can actually win against the investors or whatever it may be. Or unfortunately, I've lost my job and I need the money. And so these are the things that we've been seeing in the silver market. And again, mostly because the paper price is so underpriced. But again, listen, we're paying way over spot on Silver Eagles. But still, they're just not selling, Jason. We haven't seen it, and we weren't able to get the variety of dates. We didn't even get close. If we were close, we would have found them, but this just didn't happen this year. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint, Jason Walker. I got a couple of items for you today. We've got the last of the silver quarters Silver moving higher here again now, up 33 cents, 34 cents now, 22.57. Rolls of silver quarters today, they're $225 a roll for 40 silver quarters. Right now, for pretty much anywhere, that is the cheapest price per ounce that you're able to buy silver at today on the rolls of silver quarters at $225 a roll. We have less than 100 rolls left, so it's just and this is just what happens. There's just not a lot out there, especially now. The mint's going to be closed, getting ready for 2022. So whatever supply the mint was pumping out is going to go away, and then it ends up. Then all of a sudden, demand for junk bags and bars and everything else goes even higher. So I look for silver to get pretty difficult here for about the next 6 weeks before we start seeing the mint come back online in late January. And then 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. Great buy today at $240 per 10th ounce. They come in rolls of 50, so if you wanted to buy the entire roll, we'll take $5 off, so it'll go down to $235 if you buy a roll of 50. That'd be $11,750 to purchase a roll of 1/10 ounce Gold Eagles. Just to give you an idea of what the 10th ounce have done. I don't know, a lot of you remember Y2K, right? And it was, remember the computers weren't going to work and the stores weren't going to be able to scan and all these things.
I remember that.
Eric ran a Y2K special, and you got 50 10th ounce. So you got a roll of 10th ounce American Gold Eagles, and you got a roll of silver Eagles also in it. It was less than $1,800. And now we're talking about a roll of 10s on sale at $11,750. That's a pretty good performance, Jason.
Absolutely. That's just because of the central bank. They need to make their profits. They do that by inflating the currency and buying up all cheap assets and boom and bust market cycles. And that's going to continue to happen. Until there's no central bank, gold and silver will increase in value because the dollar's value will go down. So, Joe, what I remember about Y2K back then, I wasn't into any of this stuff, gold and silver and radio station and all this material we talk about. But I remember what was really important to me during that Y2K was that this was possibly going to interfere with Kurt Warner and the Rams' surprising Super Bowl run. I was like, oh no, the playoffs just started. What are they going to do? The Y2K is going to mess up my Rams winning the Super Bowl. That was my big concern back then.
That was your big fear.
That was my big thing.
We can't have the Super Bowl because of Y2K. That's wow. That's going back. Yeah. So rolls are. 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles, 1 through 49, $240 a roll, 50 or more at $235. That would put the roll at $11,750 at 800-951-0592. The mainstream media, and I've talked a lot about this, the Fed has the cheerleader squad, right? Telling you every time there's a crisis, who's the hero? If you listen to mainstream media, right? Oh, it's the central bank's the hero. They're our savior. And of course, really, what do they really want to say? They really want to save the stock market, right? That's what they care about. But the reality is, as all of us know, the U.S. economy isn't the stock market anymore. I mean, it used to be, right? Remember back, when it was full like GE and GM and companies that used to build things in America. Now it's loaded up with what we'll call, I guess for lack of a better word, globalist companies that the majority of their products aren't made here, aren't produced here, and really Wall Street doesn't represent America at all. And if you actually look at the breadth of the market and the stocks that are struggling, most of the stocks that are struggling, Jason, are the companies that are actually here in America.
But that's correct. That's correct. There's a lot of extra, I guess, obstacles for American companies that the ones that are overseas don't have to face. So yeah, exactly right. It's tough to be made in America, isn't it?
Yeah, and just look at it this way. Just ask yourself a simple question. Where do you think Wall Street would be with a Fed's funds rate at 5%, which would be totally normal? If you took out the last 15 years, 5% Fed's funds rate would be normal, which would mean what? A 10-year note would be about 7%. A mortgage would be somewhere around, I don't know, between 7.25% and 7.5%. Where do you think Wall Street would be? Where do you think housing would be? And all this they've done is created this huge bubble. And now, just like every economics book ever written, if you do that and you create and you have loose policies, you end up with horrible inflation, and that's exactly what we're going to see. And now Jay Powell saying that they're going to start to fight it all. That's kind of the beginning of the end. Take advantage. We got a little gift sell-off 2 weeks ago. I think it's about over. Make sure you're prepared, because when it does start, it's going to be quick. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Gold's up 10, 17.90. Silver is up 33 cents here, 22.57. I don't mean to laugh, but the Dow's up 550 points. Crude oil is up another $3 again today, Jason, as once again the representation that somehow Wall Street represents mainstream America, nothing could be farther from the truth. And, of course, the central bank has created it. Listen, I know they want you to think they're the heroes. Believe me, they're the exact opposite. The production of fiat money does not equal a productive economy. And all they've done is the same thing. They give it different names. Right? They say they've got all unlimited amounts of tools. Yeah, they're right. It is unlimited because they own the printing press. Because I don't care what they call the tool, it's still the same tool, and that tool is debt. And this is the biggest bubble yet. This isn't, I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not a Nobel laureate economist. But yet, I know with certainty that this is going to end badly. Why? Well, because it always has ended badly. Go back to 1971 when they finally got full control. You had the inflation of the 70s that ended badly. Right? I mean, think about what was the Fed funds rate. I think it would have got to 20%. Right? I think an automobile at the late 70s was like 25%. Right? That was all them. The stock market crash of '87. Then you had the dot-com bubble. Then we had the housing bubble, followed by the financial crisis. And their solution is what? Reinflate with bigger and bigger debts. This one, though, Jason, this one takes the cake. Because think about this. During the housing and right before the financial collapse, the debt was like $5 or $6 trillion. The Fed's balance sheet was like $700 billion. Think how much that they've created now. Now we're talking a national debt of $30 trillion. Fed's balance sheet's $9 trillion. And we've done that in a matter of 13 years, Jason.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, the speed at which it gets worse increases too. So I mean, that's this inflative cycle we're in. It's just showing you. It's showing you how very quickly it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So I like these are the kind of numbers I like, Joe, because they all make sense to me. I understand how that's how it works.
Well, right, exactly, right. These make sense. And again, it's like I said, I'm not some great economist or anything like that. It's just common sense. Simple to see. We get it. I get it. Right? We all get it. We've just been fooled. I wish the answer was let's end the Fed. Unfortunately, I think what the next phase for us is going to be is a digital currency controlled by the central bank. Banks as we know it will cease to exist. We'll be left with a few hundred, maybe 300 or 400. We'll call them banks that operate a lot like hedge funds, and a huge, massive revaluation, a quote-unquote reset is what is coming next.